Hi, I wanted to do a quick video to talk a little bit about the Bitcoin price. When looking at the Bitcoin price, I like to always do this in a very kind of broad picture, as well as kind of a medium long-term type of view. I personally don't trade Bitcoin. That means I don't buy and sell Bitcoins, within days or weeks. I try to just accumulate and kind of look at the bigger trends. So let's just take a look at the really big trend. This is the entire sort of history of Bitcoin that makes sense. So we can see here it all started in 2013. This is when kind of the first big money came into Bitcoin, and there was this bubble at the beginning of the year, and then followed up with a second bubble at the end of 2013. This is when the Mt. Gox craziness happened, and when there was a lot of fake demand created by Mt. Gox. This is basically why Mt. Gox went belly up. They basically kept on buying Bitcoin without having actually the money. So there was like a bot at Mt. Gox that bought Bitcoin. In addition to that, there was like a lot of media hype that happened, and so this is when Bitcoin went all the way up to 1,000. And then 2014 to 2015, we had this kind of slowdown of Bitcoin. Mt. Gox went belly up here around 700, I believe. And then just the price went down and down. And between 2015 and the beginning of 2016, we basically had 1 year where the price traded within this band of $200 to $300. So it looked super steady, and it then turned around. At the end of last year, beginning of this year, and this year it's been going up really nicely. So let's just kind of drill in a little bit and take a look at this. And the last couple of days, Bitcoin really has broken out of a short-term downtrend. So as you can see, since October of last year, there was a big downtrend here. That was broken through here about in October, November. And then there was immediately kind of a huge bubble all the way to 500, and then a quick crash again down to 300. So this looks a little small relative to the big, but this was very volatile, and from going between 200 to 300 being very stable, here going from 240 to 500, doubling within a very short time, and then crashing down again to 300. That was pretty wild. It's also expected, given that we had this long trend over years pretty much, where we had a downtrend that really was broken through now. And so here we now have this kind of a new uptrend that seems to be forming here. And we had a breakout of this uptrend in June. So in June, there was this crazy just upswing, and everybody loved Bitcoin. All of a sudden, again, we got good new media hype. And then, of course, there has been a kind of a pretty steady downtrend since kind of the middle of the year. And so this downtrend has been broken through just in the last few days. And so this one candle here was only like a 20 bucks. We went from like 580 to 600. So that is really not a big deal. But it actually is a big deal because it is a breakthrough out of this downtrend, out of this short-term downtrend. And as you can see, we're forming here kind of this this mid-term uptrend, and we were getting kind of close to that. And traders had a choice to either keep going down and then fighting versus this kind of a little bit longer-term uptrend. And traders decided to kind of break out of this early. And so because of this these $20 movement of the Bitcoin price, which is not a big deal, I thought were pretty a good indicator, and made me actually pretty happy and confident in the Bitcoin price overall. So I think we are now looking at some probably nice up rally, and this has been really a strong sign that this kind of short-term uptrend may be holding. So probably it's a decent time to get into Bitcoin right now. I think long term, we're really looking to have this next kind of bubble that goes beyond the $1,000 that we have before. Again, keep in mind that this was a little bit fake, created by a bot and by demand that wasn't real. And that was about 5% of all the money supply of Bitcoin at that point in time. So this was about $500 million. That was basically wasted or given away and lost because Mt. Gox just kept on buying without having customer funds. Yeah, and by the way, also this recent downtrend here happened because of Bitfinex. Bitfinex is the biggest exchange and got hacked. I personally had 1 Bitcoin on Bitfinex and I had to take a cut. So now I only have 0.6 Bitcoins on Bitfinex because they basically did a bail-in on their customers. I still have my 0.6 Bitcoins there because I'm lazy. But overall, I think this is a good sign and shows the strength of the Bitcoin price.